Hello friend, this is Sanjay Kumar, founder and creator of SelectorsHub. Request you please subscribe to the channel if you are new here to get all the upcoming innovation and updates on xPath, selectors and all my tools. Great, thank you. How to write xPath? So in this tutorial I'm going to explain like very quick and simple ways of writing xPath. It could be like absolute xPath, relative xPath, index-based xPath. So this will help you to understand and at least get started with writing the xpath unique xpath for your elements. And if you want to learn more about like in details deeper concepts of xpath and selectors, you can check out this course here. You can take this course. This will help you where I have explained each and every function in very deep and detail. Okay, so let's learn about how can we write the xpath. So here we will go to this practice page. I have created a practice page where you can practice all complex scenarios related to web automation and all kinds of web element. So here in this page, suppose we have to write some xpath and selectors. So how do we write? So just simply right click and click on inspect. On the left hand side you will see the DOM, and here you will see the SelectorsHub. So let's open SelectorsHub here, and we will write our own xpath here in SelectorsHub tab. You can also drag and drop here, so you will not every time have to click here. To install SelectorsHub, you can install it from SelectorsHub website. You can directly go here and install it. Okay, now here suppose we have to write an xpath for any element. Let's say very first thing we will see the absolute xpath. So whenever we see like absolute xpath, if we have to write in some cases absolute xpath meaning is that you have to start like you are traversing from top to bottom, like from this body tag, or you say like this HTML tag, basically the top hierarchy in the DOM. So from the top hierarchy from in the DOM you are traversing till that element. So let's say suppose we wanted to write xpath for this div. Okay, so if you have to write like directly, you can write uh, xpath directly, we can write for this element. But if we have to write an absolute xpath, so how generally xpath start traversing, like one by one. First this is HTML, then inside this HTML there is a body tag, and inside this body tag this div exists. Okay, so if you have to, if someone asks you to write the xpath for this div, absolute xpath for this div, so then you have to start from the HTML, from the top, like HTML tag, then there's a body tag, and then there is a div tag. Okay, so let's see how does this work. So first we will write forward slash, and in this absolute xpath we use single forward slash. So basically coming step by step down. So forward slash HTML, then forward slash body. Single forward slash is like one step at a time. So we are taking step by step, and then this div. Hit enter. Two elements matching. Now here you see that this is the xpath 1, xpath is equal to 1, it has added SelectorsHub. So this means that this is the first matching node. Inside this body tag there are two divs. One is this. If we collapse this, another one will be there. So there must be two divs inside this uh, body tag. First one is this video chat. So second one is this here. Okay, so now we want the xpath for this only. So what we can do, we can add here index 1 and hit enter. So this way we will be getting the xpath for this element, and this is the pure absolute xpath because we have traversed one by one step at a time. We could have directly written xpath for this element, like directly double forward slash div, and then xpath functions we could have used. But here we haven't used any xpath function. Directly we are using just plain simple HTML and their tag name. Suppose if there is any element like this header ID, if you have to write for this one, then you can add forward slash header and hit enter. You got one. So basically like always whenever you have to write a absolute xpath, you traverse with single forward slash step by step. Okay, so that's absolute xpath. Now how can we write the relative xpath, or you can say the xpath, using the xpath functions? So far we haven't used any xpath function, just like simply we were traversing in the DOM through single forward slash. Now let's say what are those xpath function which can help us to write more robust xpath which will not be changing frequently, because in this xpath this is very much fragile. Like suppose if any one more div comes here in between, then in that case this xpath will break. Like suppose after this div, sorry, before this header, maybe like this header can go one level down, and it might be like right now this header is child of this div. This header could be like maybe like tomorrow it becomes the grandchild, so in that case this will break. Okay, so here what we will do, we need to write the xpath. We generally don't write absolute xpath. We don't generally prefer to use absolute xpath in our automation script. Reason because they are very much fragile, and they very high probability that they will change. So in that case we generally use the xpath functions to write the so called like you can call that relative xpath. So let me show you here. Under resources, you will find XPath and cssSelector functions. So here we have written, I've written lots of XPath functions, which you can just go through. What are those functions? So the very standard actually functions of a function of XPath is double forward slash tag name. This input is tag name, and then at the rate attribute value name is equal to attribute value. Okay, so what it is like, basically what it does, when you start writing double forward slash, like let's say for an example we have to write xpath for this header. Okay, so you just type double forward slash, and this gives you here, select this, and then open a square bracket, let's say at the rate id, which is like at the rate attribute name is equal to attribute value, and hit enter. So this way it is one element matching. So now you see that even if there will be any change in the DOM, like let's say tomorrow this header becomes grandchild of this div or anything, if even if there is a no div here, this div got deleted but this header moved up here, then also this xpath will work. So this basically we call it this kind of xpath, relative xpath. Generally we call relative xpath the one which is being written relative to some other element, that also we will see. But this also, so in this xpath what is happening basically, whenever we write double forward slash, let me explain this how this xpath works. So whenever we write double forward slash and after that tag name, so we are telling our query, this xpath is basically like xml query. So whenever we are writing this double forward slash and then this is a tag name, so we are telling our query that look for the header tag inside this entire DOM, no matter whether that is inside div tag or body tag or whatever. Then hit enter. So it has looked into the DOM and find out all the header tags. Now when you type open square bracket here and write at the rate id, yes, of course we can write this id is equal to master must head. Let us delete this and just write this and hit enter. So this basically we are saying here, of out of all those header tags, like there were two header tags, this is one condition. Now we are adding one more condition. So basically xpath, when you write this kind of xpath, you are adding conditions. Like this is one condition, now we have added another condition that give us all the headers, header tag give us all the header tag which has the id attribute. Now hit enter. It is one element matching. You want to make it more robust, like because suppose tomorrow someone add id attribute in another header tag, in that case that xpath will break. So to make it more robust, what we will do, we will add the value as well and hit enter. Now this is the more robust relative xpath using the xpath functions. Okay, now let's take more example here. suppose we want all the anchor tag in this page. Okay, basically link, so we write double forward slash a 83. Okay, now there are 83 links in this page. Let me explain one more concept here as we are talking here. You will think that why we are using selectors, or why we didn't use the DevTools control F. We could have done it here. So you see that it used to show you the result with find by string. Like if we paste it here, it is showing 90. Are there 90 links in this page? No, there are 83. Why it is showing 90? Because it is matching this string as well, double forward slash a, which is not an anchor tag. So when you verify your xpath in DevTools, it used to show you the string match as well as any string match, and then it doesn't support svg, it doesn't support shadow rom, it gives a wrong xpath for in case of svg. Shadow dom, you can't verify your selector here in control plus f, and in case of iframe, and in many cases it doesn't give you the right result. That's where we are using SelectorsHub, and in many cases, in many ways, SelectorsHub is much helpful. Also, like if you will be making any mistake here, any error, it will suggest you that what is wrong here. If you do any kind of mistake, whether that xpath is right or wrong, it suggests you what is wrong here. While here it will not tell you that what is wrong, it will just show you 0 of 0, and you will never be able to learn that what wrong you are doing. So from learning perspective, SelectorsHub is very good. You get the right result, right count, right information that what wrong you are doing. So that way it is very helpful. So that's why we are using it here. Okay. Now 83 matching nodes are there. Cool. So we got 83 links are there. Now we want all the links in this page. Let's say we got a question, get us all the links in this page which has the class attribute. Okay, so we'll add class attribute here. Now you see that 42 elements are there, 42 anchor tag, or you can say link on this page are there which has the class attribute, like this one it has. So suppose now we add one more condition here, get me all the anchor tag in this page which has the class attribute, and the value of class attribute is equal to this. Hit enter. There are 6 elements matching. So now let me again show you guys, and you will find it really interesting. How many links are there? 83. Get us all the links which has the class attribute. So you will write this. There are 42. Now get us all the class, all the links which has the class equal to this value. Hit enter. There are 6 elements matching. So this is how we write the xpath using the xpath function, and this is how xpath works. It's a combinations of conditions, like these all are like condition one by one. So this is first condition you have added, this is second condition you have added, this is third condition you have added, and that's how we have built one xpath. Right now it is matching 6 elements. Okay, so suppose if you want to make it unique, so how you can make it unique? There could be like there are more functions in xpath, yes of course. So suppose there are like text function as well, so whenever there will be like text here, so you can use the text as well. So here like text is there, so you can use text this, and now your xpath is matching one element. So this is how we have written one element matching xpath for this element. Of course you can just remove this part as well, like if you feel that this is finding more than one element, and with this xpath, with this condition only we can find a unique xpath. In that case you can make it sort. So you see that it's still matching one, so you can say that this is a unique xpath, because we have to optimize our xpath. Like it shouldn't be very long, it should be very optimal, it should be very optimized one, it should be robust, it should be meaningful. We shouldn't be using any attribute name which is not meaningful, which could be dynamic, which can change on page refresh. So all those things will be taken care in your xpath when you are writing, and you can add as much conditions as you want. And how you will learn all these functions, so already listed most of the functions here, you can check out like here, like text function, index space and all, so and or condition. So here In fact, like we have written this one, and you see that we have added this condition, at the rate class is equal to this and text is equal to this. Suppose if you want to add this condition like this way, or equal to, so this way also you can add your condition here. Okay, and then you would be able to like write the xpath in this way, as well, like because we have added or condition, so now it is matching text is equal to this or this. If we will add this and condition, then it will show us one element matching. So this is how you write your xpath. And here you, if you will make like any mistake and all, that SelectorsHub will help you to learn and make you comfortable, make you like more expert in writing xpath, like what is allowed, like add tag name after forward slash. If you do anything here, it will tell you what is allowed, what is not allowed, like after is closing square bracket, but what is allowed. So that all things you will learn. And as well as at the same time, let's say you don't know what all text function are there, what all permutation combinations are possible for this element to write the xpath, then you, as soon as you start typing, it used to give you the auto suggest here. So you see that it is telling you that this function dot function contains dot, contains normalized space, and it is showing you 111. So all these things will be very helpful, so you can learn all this from here. So this is how we write the xpath using the different xpath functions. Okay, and here in I have, like I told you, you can just go through this and you will be able to understand. Now, so we have seen this absolute xpath, relative xpath using the xpath functions. We will come to that one as well, like where you can write the xpath relative to some other elements using the access functions of xpath. Before that, let's see index based xpath as well. So you see that when we were writing the xpath for this element, at the rate class equal to this was finding 6 element matching. Okay, now we wanted to make it unique, and suppose for a second there is no product, something like this, no text is there, or you say that we don't want to use the text function here. So in that case, how can you make it unique? Based on index, you cannot write like here let's say 1 or 2, not like this, it might not match, right? So how we write the index based function, index based xpath, what is that formula? So here what you have to do, put your cursor in the beginning, type open parenthesis, and you see that it gives you automatically, though in standard, what is that formula? Surround your xpath, you can delete this one, surround your xpath with the parenthesis, and then add the index. Like here you see that index space xpath, here this is your xpath, and then we have surrounded that with parenthesis, and then we have added the index. Like let me show you again. Here we have written this xpath. Okay, now surround this with open parenthesis, parenthesis, and then what is the index for this? So whenever you will be verifying your xpath, SelectorsHub adds the add xpath attribute in that, in the matching element. So basically that is index. So here what is the index for this element? 1. So you can add 1 and hit enter. This is one element matching. Likewise, suppose we have written this xpath. Okay, so there are 6 elements matching. Okay, cool. Now you see that there are, it is showing here the very first matching. When you hover, it highlight the products in red outline. Second one is pro plan, third one is courses. So you see that here is xpath is equal to 3. Now suppose we want to write xpath for courses. So what we can do, we can surround this xpath with parentheses and add the index 3, and this is the xpath for courses. So this is how you can write the index based xpath using the index. So what you have to do, basically you have to surround your xpath, you have to like keep your xpath inside the parenthesis and then add the index. Okay, cool. So this is how we write the index based xpath. Now suppose we have to write the xpath relative to some other element. Most of the time we have to write, like suppose here for this field enter email, we have to write xpath for this field enter email box with respect to user email. So how can we write that? Here first we will write the, like first we will have to look at the DOM and we have to identify like what is the relation between this input box and that label. So here you see that this is label user email and this is input box. We have to write xpath for this element with respect to this user email, and the relation between these two, it seems like they are the siblings because they are under this user form and user form is their parent, right? So for this input, this is sibling. Now for this user email, it is the following sibling, and for this input, this label is preceding sibling. Basically, like which one is the first? Label is first and then input. So for input, label is preceding sibling. For label, input is following sibling. Okay, so we have to write xpath for this with respect to this label. So what we will do, first we will write the xpath for this label, which is basically you can say the parent one with respect to which we want to write xpath. So first we selected this. Let's say we use this, and there is a concept guys like between dot function, text function and normalize space function. So please watch the tutorial I have already created. So search in the channel for normalize space, text and dot function. What is the difference? There is a difference. So you are not, we are not supposed to use like in different situation. So yeah, here I'm using dot function here, but you cannot use in every situation. So there's a difference. So for that, to understand the detailed concept, please watch that tutorial. But yes, here we can use it. So now this is one xpath matching, and we have to like we need this xpath for this element, and what it is the following sibling for this. So what we will write, forward slash following. You can write following siblings as well, just that here we are using the following because this is following only, and add the input here and hit enter. We have written xpath for this input, I mean input which are all the following of this. So under this label, whatever inputs are there, it is giving the result for all of them. After this label, whatever inputs are there, it is giving all those. Suppose we just want this one only, so in that case what you can do here, you can add the at the rate id is equal to this, and we will get the xpath for this element. Now this is the xpath for this input box with respect to this user email label. This is one way, like one type of function we have, one type like one way we have written this. There are thousands of ways that xpath can be written for this element with respect to this element. You can traverse like from this to that parent, and from that parent you can jump to this, like this one. I will give one more example because I don't want you to be get confused. That's why I'm not showing all of them. But suppose you wanted to write xpath for this input box with respect to user email. So what you can do, like generally this method will never fail. What I'm going to show now, that whenever you are in a situation that you have to write xpath for an element with respect to other element, always look for a common parent, reach to that common parent with first, then direct from that parent jump to the child element for which you want to write the xpath. So here we want to write the xpath for input with respect to label. So first, what is the common parent for both of them? This div. So now here we will start writing the xpath for this user email, then parent, and the parent is here div. Select this. So we got this xpath for this parent, and now from this parent we want this input. Okay, so here we can select this and forward slash double forward slash input, and now this is the xpath for this input with respect to this user email label, and here we have used the parent function. So this is how you can write xpath for an element with respect to other element. Okay, good. So whatever we have learned so far, like writing the absolute xpath relative to relative xpath using the xpath function, then relative xpath using the access based function, and now here you see that all of them has been automated already. So like if you wanted to directly copy the absolute xpath, you see that here you can see in SelectorsHub, whenever you inspect any element, let's say this element we have inspected, so you will see that it has generated absolute xpath. It has generated relative xpath, which is using the xpath function. Suppose you want to generate the access based xpath, that is also you can generate. It is asking first inspect the parent. So you inspect this parent user email and then inspect the child element. So you see that the xpath, whatever we have written like manually, that it has generated automatically. And in most of the cases this will be like very robust and like unique and stable xpath, so that you can trust. So all these things are already automated. And in fact, like in pro version, we have taken this to next level. Like suppose if you want to generate access based xpath, you can use selectors of own inspector. Just once you select this and inspect this, and you see how fast you can generate xpath for any element with respect to other element. So there are like lots of things has been already automated and invented, which can help you a lot to save a lot of time and energy, and it can be very very helpful. So for that, I will recommend that please watch the detailed tutorial and how you can use these all these functions and everything in this channel. So you will get all the information, and as well as in the website you will get all of them. So yeah, that's how you can use these like that's how you can write the xpath, absolute xpath, relative xpath, and all those things. And do read about all these functions. I will also create another tutorial for css selector soon, and learn all these functions, xpath, selectors. Practice on this page. This page has really really good scenarios like shadow dom, nested shadow dom, iframe, nested iframe, closed shadow dom, shadow dom inside iframe inside shadow dom table, and lot more things. So this will really really help you guys a lot. And if you any face any challenges, you can always reach out to me on the selectors of slack channel, as well as the live chat on the website. So yeah, with that, thank you so much. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and if you have any question, feel free to let me know, and let us know that what new thing you have learned in this video. And try to understand the xpath concepts, that how that xpath works, like I have explained you guys. And there are like lot more things, like shadow dom doesn't support xpath, then svg doesn't support the standard format of xpath. So all those concepts you will be able to learn with the help of selectors, and it will help you a lot. Yep, like let me just quickly show you this one example here. So like what I was saying, this that svg doesn't support. So suppose this is an svg element, so when you will inspect this, so let's say you open this, so you see that this is telling you this is a svg element, it doesn't support a standard xpath format. So you will learn this concept, like this is comment, you will learn this. Anything like which will not be possible to be automated, like this is this element is not interactable through Selenium, so it is telling you that this is not interactable element. You will get element non-interactable exception. So this all these things it will tell you upfront, like if any element is inside shadow dom, this is telling you that this is inside shadow dom, which can't be accessed through xpath, anything. So each and everything it tells you very good in good way, like this element is inside close shadow dom. So next level things it is telling you how you can automate those elements, all those things it tells you. So very helpful, very useful, and you will learn lot many things from here. And if you have any doubt, any confusion, feel free to reach out to us, and do let us know what all things you have learned. And yeah, with that, thank you so much.